3, 2, 1, and off we go.
We ready right now.
Leave that.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, and welcome back to Blame Your Brother. We are back once again to entertain you for the next hour or so. We are streaming the show live right now on YouTube, youtube.com/blameyourbrother. Subscribe, hit that like button if you're watching right now. Come join us on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. where we talk about current events, pop culture, and tonight, Mount Rushmore of past Best Picture winners. So we're excited to get to that. We are Blame Your Brother. I am one half of that duo. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, voice of people, Mr. 40%, Glenn Jackson, spiritual midget, and I sit next to this gentleman. His name is John.
Hey, everybody, John here, a.k.a. Mr. Bleepin' Groupon, Mr. PTI, the Madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do a madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
All right, there you go. So we are Blame Your Brother. Like I said, you can check us out on all the platforms. So thanks for checking us out. And let's just get started because we have many things to discuss. How was your past week, John? What's going on with you this week?
Not much. Not much.
Well, there you go.
Not going on.
It is, so oddly enough, this week, it is kind of birthday week. It was my birthday on Sunday, so you came out and we had a little shindig at my house on Saturday. We had you show up, my sister, my brother for about 2 minutes. He bounced. My brother-in-law. So it was fun. It was good seeing everyone over there. So we did that. We had some food, just hung out. It's good just to hang out with everybody and kind of catch up. You know, at 44, which I am now, which is a weird thing to kind of say, it's, you know, celebrating is a little bit different. I was like, I mean, it started at 2 and it ended probably, I don't know, 8 or 9. I was like kind of wiped out, man. And we didn't even do anything. That's the problem. So I don't know. But it was fun. I'm glad everybody showed up. If you're listening, thank you. I know a lot of those people that showed up listening. So thank you for coming and hanging out with us. But it was Glenda's birthday this past week. Glenda Sawyers, who is a regular fan of the show. She listens all the time.
Happy birthday, Glenda.
Yeah, and then we had Lynn Sparrow, who's also another listener.
Oh, wow.
It was her birthday as well. And today, two very important birthdays, people we discuss from time to time. Number one, Willie. Oh, Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
I don't know how old he is. I think he's like 80-something years old or something. I mean, that guy, who's going to live longer, him or Keith Richards? If you had to guess right now which one, because I think Willie's older than, I would guess. I mean, Willie Nelson was born in 1933, so he's 88 years old today, all right? 88. And then Keith Richards is probably, I don't think he's quite yet, he's 77. So Willie's got 11 years on Keith Richards.
Oh, I got Willie's got my money then.
You think so? So I think Willie might live to be 100 years old. You think Keith Richards is going to go?
No. I think Willie's going to outlive him.
Think
because he's already got 10 years on him.
Willie's older.
Oh, you mean like
Willie's older
from today? How much longer?
No. Who's going to die first? You think?
Oh,
you think Keith Richards will die before Willie? Who will die first, Willie or Keith? Because either way, it's going to be a huge loss for music.
It is. But I mean, last time I've seen Keith Richards do an interview, he looked real rough.
Okay. That's true. Okay.
I mean, it was like night and day from like the time before that I've seen him.
Yeah.
And then the last time I saw him.
Bro, I'm not arguing with you. They're both, I mean, Willie Nelson's 88. I would not have guessed he was that old. Like, you ever do the math where you're like, how old is Ringo Starr? Because the Beatles were around in the 60s. And you're like, these dudes are old. I mean, Paul McCartney's got to be 80 years old. At least. I mean, I don't know his exact age. So you think Willie will kick it before? Because Willie stopped, according to him, we talked about in a past episode, stopped smoking the weed. I guess he's still partaking in different ways.
He probably has an IV of it.
Does that help? There's got to be something to that medicinal properties. If this guy's still going strong, I mean, he's still performing. He performed at the CMAs before everything went wrong with Casey Musgraves. They did Rainbow Connection.
Yeah.
And he looked, I was like, all right, man, this guy might live another 20 years. It's just odd to me. I don't know.
Well, I mean, they say anxiety is bad for the heart, and so if nothing mellows you out more than.
The best Willie Nelson story, which I'm sure we've told before on the program, but is when, I guess Lee told me the story, so take it with a grain of salt, but I think I've heard it somewhere else, is that his house was on fire, and he runs back in, and he comes out with a guitar, and so after it's over, like, Willie, you ran back in, you got that guitar. There must be, you must have written all the great songs on there, He went, oh, no, this is where my stash of weed was inside the guitar. I don't know if that's a true story, but
it's a great story,
my God,
regardless.
I hope it is true for all those reasons. So Willie turns 88 today, and then, of course, we have who we talk about, Michelle Pfeiffer. And I don't know how old she is, but she is timeless. I don't know how old.
Yeah.
How old do you think Michelle Pfeiffer is? Just guessing.
I would say 63.
Okay. I would guess around 61. I'll say she is 63 years old.
Oh, wow.
So, wow. Wow. Obviously I'm never going to look that good at 63, but she looks pretty fantastic. And of course she will live on forever because of her roles are great, but to the nerd community, she's going to live on forever for Catwoman. And it'd be interesting if she makes an appearance in the new multiverse movie coming out of The Flash. Could be. Best Catwoman outfit so far? Michelle Pfeiffer, Batman Returns? Who else would you put up against it?
There's not really.
So it'd be, it's curious to think about that, who the next Catwoman will be or what the outfit, whatever, who cares. So
there is supposed to be, in the Robert Pattinson movie, The Batman, there's supposed to be a Catwoman. I want to say it might be Zoe Kravitz.
Okay, I think that sounds right.
That seems to be coming to my mind.
Catwoman. I think I've heard that before. Yeah, I guess so. Huh, interesting. Yeah. Well, okay. Are you excited about that Pattinson Batman? Like, what is your excitement level 1 to 10? Because you're looking right now like not that much, man.
I'm not impressed out at the forefront.
Yeah.
Just because of everything before and then everything after Nolan is just kind of.
Yeah, I agree. I hear people all the time say, Christian Bale not that great, and I was like, what? What are you guys smoking out here? That Keaton, everybody keeps coming back to Keaton was not that great, okay?
No.
I just don't think he was. I think Christian Bale, I liked aspects of Ben Affleck as Batman. But
he was kind of jokey a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
To me, that's not.
No, Batman's not a joke guy.
Yeah.
But the look. But I don't know. I think so. That's the question. Would Batman be buff or not? I don't think he would be like jacked to the nines, because wouldn't people start going, bro, what's going on? Why, Bruce Wayne, why are you like ripped? You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems he would be more functional. Like Bruce Lee was functional. He wasn't, he was ripped. He had like 6-pack abs and everything, but he wasn't like Hulk Hogan or anything.
He didn't have a lot of meat on him.
Right. Which it seems Batman would be the same way, right?
They say, if you look, I'm a huge closet Bruce Lee fan.
Okay.
And they say pound for pound, Bruce Lee was probably one of the strongest people ever.
So that's kind of what I picture Batman.
Now the thing is Bruce Lee was only 135 pounds.
Wow. How tall was he?
He was 5'7".
Okay.
And he could focused, he could probably punch through a brick wall.
Jeez. So, see, that would be Batman.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, happy past birthday to all of our friends of the show, and happy birthday to 2 big celebrities that will never listen to this program. But we love you guys anyway. And Willie was just talked about last week. So, regardless. All right. So that happened. I had a birthday. And then today I went and gave blood today, donated blood today. I'd made this commitment to myself that I used to give blood pretty regularly. And then I would try to go for a while I was going every time I could go, And then it would kind of go yeah, you just life gets in the way. of
Yeah, it's just
things,
hard to cut out a piece of time.
Right. And so then I was kind of going like once a year, maybe twice a year. And then my mother passed away, obviously back in March. And one of her big things, which would always come up like in phone conversations with her, was she was always giving blood. Like, and they were always calling her like, we need you to get blood. And she's like, I just gave blood last week. I can't, but that was something that she was very passionate about. And so when she passed, me and my sister were kind of talking about it. I said, yeah, I'm going to start giving blood regularly again. Now, I don't know if people give blood often, but it's not really, it's more inconvenient just to go do it because you have to schedule it. You have to go in, you have to kind of sit there and hang out. And then, the act itself happens. Now, if you're scared of needles, I mean, you don't really ever see the needle, but here's what I've determined. And this is, everyone wants to say, yo, man, people are always saying dudes rock, dudes are the best, guys are the best. I will say this without a doubt, that women who have taken my blood are par none the best at it ever. If you get a good person to stick that needle in, you will not even feel it's in your arm. The 2 times I have felt it and it was not pleasant was today and was another time, and there was 2 guys that did it both times.
I don't think I've ever gotten a drum by a dude.
Well, I would advise against it just based on my experience so far. So, I mean, I'm allowed to say this because I'm a guy.
They're batting 0.
They're batting 0 with me so far. So, and you can, how many times have you given blood, would you say?
Well, I mean, kind of like you, back in, I guess around like 2008, I started giving blood, and I mean, I was giving so often they gave me a card.
Yeah, I got the card. Yeah, for
and
sure.
I think I had like about 8 stamps in the card, and then when you get the card, it's like your second time already anyway.
Nice. Okay.
So I mean, and that was like within a 2-year span.
Okay.
But then life happens. I got a new job,
right?
And I moved, and I used to live in West Nashville, and that was like about 6 miles from where you from the Red Cross. So I mean, it wasn't hard to give blood.
So you've given it enough, and and like I say, the minute the needle went in with the guy, I went, oh no, it hurt. I mean, it kind of hurt for a second. I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad. The first time I got it, I remember the dude. He was like the supervisor. I should have already been like, no, like you got to get the saltiest, oldest nurse there, number one, because those ladies, I love them. I respect the hell out of nurses. Like, I know people are like, yo, you got to respect police officers. I keep them as, dude, respect is earned. It's not given.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sick of this respect the police. I will respect the police when they interact with me and they're courteous and kind, okay?
Yeah.
If they're not, they don't get my respect. Okay, that's true of everything. But I would say, but every nurse, I do respect. I've yet to meet, I mean, their nurses may be short patient, but I haven't met any of them. Every nurse I've met, my wife was pregnant, giving blood, just going to the doctor, they've all been top notch. I know there's probably some bad ones out there, and I'm sure people will say it, but whenever I go to Red Cross, they just don't give a crap, dude. And I love it. They're just like, it's just like you're in their living room, where like some people are a little bit more reserved, not these ladies. They cut up. So I love them. I would put nurses over. Doctors, nurses are at the top of my tier of life over. I keep watching these videos of these police officers, man. I know it's 2021 and they come out all the time, which, I mean, I would say this, why are they coming out all the time if the officers are so great? And it just upsets me so much to watch these officers just take advantage of people, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, that's the crazy part. If one pulls you over, there's literally nothing you can do. Like, there should be a law in the books. If they are violating your rights, you should be allowed to act and not be charged. But we all know that's not going to happen.
No.
If you fight them back, you're going to get charged for that.
I mean, the thing is if you know a police officer that hates your guts,
yeah,
they can ruin your life.
Of course.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Over like nonsense. And it's mainly black people. Let's just keep it real. I mean, we know this. And I saw the video today where the guy got pulled over for an expired decal sticker. I'm like, all right. I mean, come on, dude. Like, and they were like, you smell like marijuana. I mean, is that a crime? I don't think it is. I mean, if you don't see any in plain sight, sorry, Charlie. Or you smell like weed. Well, anybody could say that. You smell like weed. What does that even mean?
Well, you can't record smell.
That's true. I wish you could. Maybe someone should do that. Market something that records smell. But anyway, this guy's like, yo, man, I don't want any problems with you. I'm not trying to fight you. My hands are up. And the guy's like, I'm going to kick your butt, dude. I'm going to throw you out. He goes, everybody watching on your live stream? Because he was like streaming it. He goes, you get ready for a show. And he grabs this dude's head and he throws him on the ground. The camera's down. And he goes, yeah, you like that, don't you? And I'm like, what do you think this dude was let go because of this? No, initially, no. He wasn't even disciplined. They're like, oh, you didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, what is this world we're living in? If you worked anywhere, if you worked at a customer service job and you literally did that to a customer, the equivalent of it, you'd probably be let go.
Yes.
I mean, if you started cussing, if you worked at Walmart or Target, retail, and you literally started cussing at a customer and were just like, I'm going to take you outside and stomp your head in. They'd be like, dude, you're fired. Get out of here. Cops are just like, whatever, part of the job. Anyway, I don't know why I got off of that, but nurses are great. And so I would just say this as a testimony to everybody. If you can give blood, try to find time to do it because it does save lives. I mean, this is a case where you can literally pat yourself on the back and say, I helped save a life today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even like an overstatement. It's very true. And I know there are times when they need it. And like I say, it's like 30 minutes to an hour of your day. What else? Just make the time to do it. So that I would just encourage people to do that. So I did that. I am, and hopefully I can report this next week. I'm wrapping up my college courses. I have 2 courses left, 1 final exam left, open book. There's 0% chance I could fail it. So once I get those classes done, I will have my associate's degree. So next week, if that happens, I will definitely come on here and talk about it. It's just been easier than I thought it would be, but it is time consuming. You know, that's the thing. Yeah. So it's when you have a family, a job, a hobby, friends, it's hard to find like extra time just to log on, do these assignments, read the stuff, you know. So
I mean, it's unfortunate you can't test out of classes.
I know you should
you just get credit for something if you know it.
Yeah, I would definitely have tested out these 2 criminal justice classes I had to take, which I've already essentially taken, but because they were called something else at another university, it doesn't count. I'm like, really, guys? All right, so. Oh, well, so that's kind of been my week. It's been all right. Like I said, birthday was good. Did a whole lot on the birthday, just spent it with the family, went on a bike ride with my kids and went out to eat and just kind of enjoyed life. And I've discovered it at 44. If you'd come back and told us in my 20s that I would enjoy being 44, I would have laughed at you. But I feel, for me, this is like, people say, when is your prime? This may be my prime of my life at 44, which is crazy to say, but I feel mentally better than I've ever felt. Physically, I mean, of course, at 25, you're obviously more physically fit to do things, but I don't walk around being, I feel so bad, you know. I just, and just a different mindset of how I see the world now, how maybe I treat people. I mean, like I said, I look back and I met younger me. I don't think I'd like them. I mean, you know, maybe I would. You're never going to be able to know that. I mean, I'm sure we've met people that were like us, and maybe you don't like yourself at 20. I mean, it'd be an interesting experience for sure. But I'm really, I mean, the sad part is most likely this is halfway over. I mean, I mean, if I look at my family history, and if I took my mother away, who passed out at 61. So, I mean, if I look at my mother, I'm almost I'm almost dead, I mean, so hopefully that's not the case, but I look at my grandfather, he just turned 86, my grandmother's 84. So, if you look at just play the odds, it looks like I'll make it to my 80s, but halfway through. And it's, sometimes I think about that at night and I get a little bit claustrophobic. I don't know if you do you ever think about that? Like,
no, not really.
Really? I've found in the last year, 2 years, I guess since my daughter was born, really, I think about it a lot. And there's been nights where it felt like somebody was smothering me. Like one night I had to get up and like walk around because I was just thinking, this is the end, whatever you believe in. It's the end of your time on this earth. Yeah. I mean, it's gone. So It's crazy, but, we all age every year, and hopefully, you can do it gracefully, and hopefully it gets better. For some people, I'm sure it's getting worse. Some people peaked at 18 or 19, and some people are peaking later in life. So, you just got to pick where you want to be. But that's it. That was my week. So there we go. Well, let's talk about the Oscars 2021. Did you watch any of it, John?
I did not watch a single clip.
0%.
Zero, nothing.
So do you generally ever watch the Oscars?
I'll sometimes watch a little bit here and there.
Right. Well, it was a little bit different this year for sure. I mean, it's, we're coming off hopefully the end of a weird year. I think everyone can say that safely. And it was a little bit different. The format just felt different. I watched a lot of it. I didn't watch every bit of it, but I watched it because I do love movies, and I'd seen most of the movies that were nominated. And I think a lot of the movies that people thought were going to win was winning. Of course, Soul wins for Pixar. Of course, Pixar is going to win almost every year they're up. I mean, who's going to beat them? And I don't know if people have seen Soul, Pixar movie, but it's fantastic. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
It is fantastic. I absolutely love it. I think that was great. I think, best movie went to Nomadland. I think it's a good movie. I always kind of like the indie movies a little bit more. I love Sound of Metal. I think Sound of Metal is something everyone should go see. If I had a vote, I would have voted for Sound of Metal. I've watched Nomadland. I don't have a problem with it winning. Like, we were looking through all the past winners before the show started. And some years, the ones you want to win don't win, but you're like, all right, either way, I'd say like La La Land, Moonlight was the big fiasco. I was like, either one wins. I'm cool with it. We were looking at 1991 when Goodfellas didn't win and problems galore. I mean, Dances with Wolves. I want you to take a poll of your family members, friends, enemies, and just go, what's the better movie? Dances with Wolves or Goodfellas? I mean, the most snobby film person you like to the person that loves rom-coms, I would guarantee that a high percentage of people have to say Goodfellas if they watch both of them. Anyway. But the big controversy of the night. So generally, when I've watched these shows, the best picture is at the end of the movie. Okay. This year they did best actor at the end of the movie. Okay. Now
at the end of the show.
End of the show, yes, end of the night.
Yeah.
So it seemed everything was geared up for Chadwick Boseman to win posthumously for, I can't even think of the name of the movie, but he was in a movie. He did it right before he passed. And I think everyone thought he's going to win this year. And he did not win. And it was like odd. It was like odd watching it because they were like, well, Anthony Hopkins won. Well, he's not here either. So good night. And it cut to Questlove, who was the DJ for the night. And he's like, yeah, everybody have a great night. And it just kind of ended weirdly. And so I guess that started a lot of controversy. Now, I have not seen either. Those are the two movies I haven't seen. I haven't seen the Anthony Hopkins movie called Father. I have not seen the Chadwick Boseman movie. And God, I wish I'm going to look what it is. It's called something about, what's the movie called? This is bad. Anyway, I don't know what it's called, man. It's a movie about a jazz thing. Oh, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. That's right. Okay. So people are upset, and I wonder about this outrage. Number one, I wonder how many people have actually seen either of these movies. Probably not a lot, right?
Probably not.
If we were just going to guess off the top of our head, probably not a lot. But what is the legacy of the Oscars to you, John? Does it matter at all to you?
No, not really.
Really? 0%?
It seems a lot of the movies, and I mean, we talked about some of them. I mean, Dances with Wolves, one of them. It seems like if a movie is gearing to try and be artsy, or like historic, it's gonna win.
It's got bonus points, right? So it's like, we're gonna throw this one. That's a good point. If it's artsy or historic, automatically +2. No matter, it's like, it's our old thing. If a girl is wearing glasses, she gets like a plus points in attractiveness to me and John. So that's automatically a plus. Okay. So yes, I would agree with you there. it's odd when movies like Lord of the Rings win because you're like, that's okay. That's an interesting choice. Is a popcorn movie ever going to win? I don't see that ever happening. Like, I mean, I guess you could consider some of the past winners popcorn movies, like Titanic would be a good one. Like, I wouldn't have guessed that one, but it's rare when it happens.
But, I mean, also, Titanic, historic.
That is true. So there you get your plus points there. Forrest Gump, kind of
it had amounts of historic, and plus you had the edge of someone being handicapped in the main role.
Which is great. I don't know, man. We've talked about Forrest Gump. There's no way that movie gets made today. Like 0% chance. I mean, there's 0% chance. So anyway, like I said, I will try to watch both of those movies in the next week. You know, I tend to watch the movies I think are great. Like I say, Sound of Metal. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It is so good. If you can, it's even better if you listen to it with headphones on because it's about a rock drummer that's losing his hearing, and a lot of the sound design is based on that. Like you're hearing a lot of times what he's hearing. It's fantastic. It's great. So that's the one I would recommend. But you know, as we gear up about getting to the Mount Rushmore in just a bit, I was listening to another podcast and I thought about the Oscars and I thought about sports and I thought about everything. Winning, the concept of winning, I think is highly overrated. I really do. This is me at 44. Me at 24 never would have said this. Okay, so let's say you win something. All right, now obviously the rush of winning is unlike anything else. If you are addicted to winning, it's unlike anything else. I personally have it. I love to win. Okay, when I was younger, I dreamt of winning anything. It's stupid things. Cornhole, football, trivia. I mean, anything. It was just to win. But let's think about winning now as a sports team. If you win, the next year you play, everyone's coming for you, right? So, in a sense, when you win, you have to start preparing to win again day one after you win. Isn't there some enjoyment in just being kind of in the middle of the pack? I mean, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm getting older and I'm becoming a socialist, which I think I am. But am I crazy for saying this? Is there comfort in not being the best?
I think that relieves pressure.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I would say that, especially when it comes to something that you do enjoy, when you take the extreme competitiveness out of it.
Yeah.
I'm horrible at basketball. Atrocious.
Right.
But I love playing basketball.
Yeah.
It's fun to me.
Right.
And so I don't have a whole lot of pressure on me when I'm playing.
That's true.
And I think I enjoy it because of that. Same thing with bowling. Horrible at bowling, but not a lot of pressure.
Bowling that's another good example, because imagine if you're a 290 or above bowler, right? I mean, the pressure to constantly do that has to be insane. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, oh man, if you bowl a 280, you're trash. Me and you, we bowl a 200, we're gods, man. Yeah. We are gods. Like, we might as well. You can put me on your shoulders. I've bowled 200 one time in my life, and I felt like I was the greatest bowler that ever lived.
My highest score is 198.
So yeah, exactly.
So just not getting there again.
And so look at, what if this podcast was a number one podcast? Can you imagine the amount of prep and work we would have to do from the minute we stop recording?
Just for the next episode, yeah.
Right. And that's not even, you're still promoting the episode you just did constantly. Yeah. Then you're scheduling, what are we going to talk about? What are the breaks? I just think we as Americans value winning. Like, we talk about this. We won World War I. We won World War II. It's like, yeah, bro, but we've lost like a lot since then. But people still consider us like winners. What have we won since World War II, really? Have we won any wars? I mean, we won skirmishes, I guess you could say. We lost Vietnam War straight up. Like, I don't know how you would even argue that. We lost it. We shouldn't have been there. A lot of people died because of it. What have we won? What is this country's obsession with winning? I think it's toxic. And I think nationalism, which was heavily promoted under Trump, just this blind patriotism, which I heard the funniest thing today. I said, it's odd that the biggest people that consider themselves the main patriots, like, you better love his country, you better get the hell out of here. These are the biggest proponents of the Second Amendment who are basically saying, well, we need our guns in case we don't trust this country anymore. Like, what are you talking about? I literally stole that from another podcast. I thought it was it's a podcast called The After Disaster. And when they said that, I thought it was the funniest dead on thing I've ever, like, I love it, but I need my guns in case I hate it. Like, wait a minute, bro. What are you talking about? Do you love it or not? So I got to love it blindly. So, and they will. They'll come, you better stand for that flag, boy. But you literally have a stockpile of weapons in your basement. For what? To overtake the government? Like, it doesn't even make any sense. It's crazy. I didn't think that was very funny. So, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I don't like to win sports. I mean, I do. But, if you don't win, it's all right. Life goes on. I mean, you find that as a sports fan, like, oh, if my team doesn't win, sun still rises, still sets, and who cares?
Yeah.
You know, like,
what is my tomorrow going to be like?
Right.
If there's a different outcome,
nothing. Even the Titans here at the national team, if they win the Super Bowl, okay, that's cool for like 5 minutes, maybe a day, and then you're just like, cool, man, we won.
I have to go back to work.
Oh yeah, they're not letting whoop-de-doo. So I don't know, John. I'm just getting soft in my old age, I guess is what I'm saying. But that being said, it is time for the Mount Rushmore of the week. And like I said, this week, we got to thank Corey, my brother-in-law, for suggesting this one because we were at the birthday party and we're basically going,
this is Saturday.
We have nothing.
Nothing. And
we're so dumb we didn't realize, like, oh, wait, there's this big thing called the Oscars. So we decided we were going to do the Mount Rushmore of Best Picture winners. And so John came up with a good one, which we might do in the future. Pitchers that didn't win that should have, So anyway, well, unfortunately for me, the pressure's on today because I go first. And I like to go first. But this week I'd rather go second because the pressure we just talked about, the pressure is on.
This is one of these times where I want certain movies to be on the list.
Right.
But I don't care who says them.
Okay.
As long as one of us gets them.
All right. Well, I'm just going to go with the stock answer then. For the number one, a lot of people consider this the best movie of all time. I mean, it would be hard for me to argue. I don't know if it's my favorite movie of all time, but it's definitely one of the all-times. My number one on the Mount Rushmore of Best Picture winners is The Godfather. The original. The OG, the original Godfather is my number one choice. I think you look at that movie, it's a perfect movie. Great acting all around. I mean, you got freaking Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, James Caan, Robert Duvall. I mean, that cast alone.
Yeah.
And it tells this great story of the Italian crime family come to America, the Corleones. And I just feel the influence it had on American cinema after it was released it can't be described. I mean, we're saying Goodfellas didn't win. Goodfellas exists because of a world where there's a Godfather.
Yeah.
Look how many mobster movies there are. There are now entire series on Netflix about the mob, the mafia. And it all started with this.
One of the greatest series of all time, Sopranos.
Right. All because of that, And so if you've never seen The Godfather, which there are people out there who have not seen it. I know there is. I don't believe my wife's ever seen The Godfather. So I don't know if women necessarily are going to be flocking to see it. But if you're a guy and you're somewhere in the age of 25 to 50, you need to go watch The Godfather. And then you need to go watch the next one. But my first choice is Godfather 1. All the quotes, all the great lines. I mean, it's spoofed so many times. If you've never even seen it, you've seen it,
Yeah.
I'm going to make them offer, can't refuse. I mean, come on, dude. All that. So that's my number one, Godfather. All right, John, you're up. Who's your number one? I
think a quotability
is
up there in these movies. I mean, obviously, they just have to be really good movies. And I think they're movies that, whether it scars you or whether it's just something that was so good that you take the movie away after you've seen it.
All right.
That being said, I'm going to choose for my first choice Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, nice one. All right. What year was that one?
Silence of the Lambs. I've got the list.
John's got all the years.
I print out a list. 1992.
Okay, 92. What year was The Godfather? It was like...
That was...
something.
70.
I don't know. John's like, oh no, it never won. No. Wouldn't that be great if it didn't ever win?
I don't think it. Wait, no.
I'll look it up.
73.
Okay, 73. I knew it was in the 70s. I thought it was maybe 70 earlier than that. Okay, so 73 for the Godfather. Okay, so Silence of the Lambs, obviously John's choice, starring Anthony Hopkins, who, oddly enough, won Best Actor this year. Mm-hmm. Jodie Foster. I mean, if you want, it's not my choice, but it's obviously on my list. I mean, it's a thrill ride of a movie. It's a psychological banger. It'll leave you on the floor of your seats. It will literally, it left me, honestly, a little bit checking over my back whenever I go somewhere. I was like, dude, what? I mean, Buffalo Bill, I know everybody talks about Hannibal Lecter. I thought Buffalo Bill was 10 times scarier than Hannibal Lecter. I mean, yeah, he eats people, but I think he kills you and then he eats you. Buffalo Bill throws you in a well. I mean, for girls, like I guess dudes would be lucky. But he throws you in a well, basically lets you starve and die where he can use your skin. And there's the infamous scene in the mirror. It's a great movie, man. I rewatched it not too long ago at the beginning of the pandemic just because I wanted to watch it, kind of get it in the back of my head again, and it stands up. I mean, I love Jodie Foster. There's something about her. She's just fantastic. She did an interview on Mark Maron's podcast, and I liked her even more. I was like, she may be one of my favorite actresses ever, you know. So, but anyway, she's fantastic. So, all right, Silence of the Lambs, good choice, good start there. All right, so my number 2 movie, let's go with a more up-to-date movie. We talked about the mob movies. Martin Scorsese finally got his due with The Departed. I mean, The Departed, to me, is a fantastic movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon. And it basically tells the story of an undercover officer who's so undercover that no one knows he's undercover. And so he has to infiltrate this crime family, not mob, but sure, it's got Jack Nicholson in it. And it is it's just a fantastic movie. It's got some great action scenes in it. Once again, a lot of these movies are the psychological drama of these characters, so if you don't know, the plot of it is Leonardo DiCaprio is an officer that goes undercover and his cover is burnt. So he's not even a cop to anyone except for 2 people in the force. Matt Damon works for Jack Nicholson as a crime guy, and he becomes an officer, raises to ranks where he can feed the mob. That's what I'm calling them, whatever they are. He can feed the mob information, and it's a cat and mouse game the entire movie. And the ending is like wild. I mean, like a lot of these movie endings are like, whoa.
There's an art to the movie too. I found out after the fact. There's no way I'd have been able to piece this together, but at the beginning of any scene where someone passes away, there's an X somewhere on the screen.
Oh, okay. Well, it's funny. In Godfather, the orange is always around when someone dies.
Yeah.
So there's little tricks of the trade there. That's pretty good. All right. Well, there we go. Departed, definitely. And Leo was, once again, any movie Leo's in, we've talked about before. We're going to have to do just top Leo movies at some point. We're going to have to do it, okay? Yeah. Because I love him. He's fantastic. He's amazing. We talked about him at the party, how his movies, it's hard to name any bad ones, except for like Creepers 2 or whatever he was in, Creepers 3. But anyway. All right, so that's my number 2, The Departed. All right. John's up to his number 2. Here we go. Uh-oh.
This will be my most recent movie that'll be on my list.
All right.
I know, fairly recently the main person in this movie got some flack, but
oh no!
To this day, I still
Kevin
think
Spacey.
I think he's an amazing actor. And there's so much about this movie that I don't know. I felt the movie.
All right.
It's American Beauty.
Now, what year is American Beauty?
American Beauty is 2000.
Okay. All right. What year was The Departed? It was after 2000, right? It was like 2000.
Departed was 2007.
Okay. All right. Tell us what you love about American Beauty. Describe American Beauty. I don't think a lot of people have seen this movie.
I guess it ranks as a black comedy.
Yeah, I would say that.
Kevin Spacey is middle-aged at best.
How old do you think Kevin Spacey is supposed to be in this movie? Like our age or younger? Because he's definitely our age in that movie.
He's supposed to be our age in that movie, but I mean, I think he's
a little bit older.
Older.
Oh my God. Okay.
He's got a daughter that's almost a sophomore.
Yeah.
In high school.
Yeah.
Maybe older. I'm not sure. He just doesn't care about anything anymore. Just like a light switch. We've talked about it before when we were younger. Being on the interstate, driving home, and thinking, "What if we just never got off of that exit?"
Yeah.
And this is a guy that it's almost like he's taking that to another level. He's making a new life for himself, but just not moving.
I mean, yeah, he's in basically a loveless marriage.
Yeah.
Daughter hates him, and he's just drifting.
Yeah.
So he decides to.
He quits his job,
which is great. I wish I could do that.
Which I mean, the way is he quits is, I mean, it's probably the second best quitting scene ever, with Fight Club being number one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good one.
But I mean, on the same par. I mean, he gets a job at like a burger drive-through place, because the pressure. He's just done with pressure. He wants a life. And they're like, when he's applying to work at this burger place, they're like, "Do you want a management?" He's like, No.
I want the job with the least responsibility,
yes.
pretty much.
And so, I mean, he just, and he just his give a dams are busted. I mean, that's just, and
he goes from there.
Yeah,
there are twists and turns.
There are a whole lot of twists and turns.
Oh, it's
and it seems like during this metamorphosis that he goes through, there are some aspects of his life that actually gets better. And there's some aspects that he wants to get better. But those aspects where he has to depend on somebody else to at least give a little bit, those ones don't.
Right. You're forgetting at the beginning of the movie, he tells you that he dies.
Yeah.
So it's basically it's a backwards. I mean, it's essentially building up to how.
Yeah.
How does he die? Does he die of a heart attack? Does someone do something? Does an accident? You don't know, but you're basically telling the tale. Yeah, fantastic movie. It is a travesty that Kevin Spacey movies are now kind of like. I mean, you got American Beauty, Usual Suspects, Seven.
So good.
Those three alone are all timers.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, are you even allowed to? I mean, obviously we can say whatever we want, but does society be like, nah, you can't watch those? Like Woody Allen movies. Yeah, you can't like those. Like, all right, man, come on, chill. I think if you've seen the movie before the stuff happened, this is I've talked about number one. I'm separating the artist from the art anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair to put that on people. But, I mean, everyone does whatever they want to do. If you want to do that, that's fine. But I'm going to always enjoy American Beauty. Now, it did recently come up that there was some controversy around Mina Suvari being a teenager and having to actually kiss him in the movie or something. And I guess they offered the role to, I think it was like Kirsten Dunst or someone. And they were like, no, I'm not doing that. And like, oh, that's Hollywood. I guess these dudes can do whatever. I mean, number one, this dude's a gay man, number one. I mean, let's get that out there. He's a gay man kissing a woman. So, I mean, it's like, all right, dude, just chill out a little bit.
I think at the time, Mina Suvari was already married.
Really?
Yeah.
She was young in that movie.
She was young, but I mean.
Oh, okay. But anyway, great movie. Good list. It was on my list for sure. Okay. All right, American Beauty. All right, I'm going to go with my number 3. Now, this is a more recent movie. You'll have to check me on the year here. But this movie, there were 2 movies up the year this happened that I love. Still love these movies today.
2017.
So this is very recent, but I think this movie is just a beautiful movie. I think it captures just a part of America. Here's what's great about movies. You can get into the mindset of a character that you will never experience ever any aspect of their life. You can empathize with them. You can feel their pain. You can see their struggle. And I know La La Land didn't win that year, but Moonlight won, and it is a fantastic film. I absolutely love it. Moonlight 2017 Best Picture. Moonlight tells a story of a person in 3 parts of his life. It is a young man, a black man, in the rougher part of town who is gay and closeted gay, pretty much. No, not pretty much. He is closeted gay. And so the first part of his life is told from when he was about 8 or 9 years old, maybe younger than that, 7 or 6. Then it cuts to the next scene where he is a teenager in high school, and then the last scene is him as an adult. And look, if you got this hang up on watching movies with gay characters in it, then I don't even know why you're listening to this podcast anyway. Get past that. It is an amazing story about the struggles of growing up with a mother who's suffering through addiction. You're suffering identity crisis. And the end of the movie is it's just beautiful, man. It is such a great movie. I've seen it quite a bit. Like I said, I've seen that and La La Land. 2017 was a year I was like, I'm just going to keep watching these movies over and over again. And I probably like La La Land a little bit better as a movie, but man, it's really close. And I just think phenomenal acting all throughout and just the concept of it. But like I say, I'm never going to be in that situation. I'm never going to grow up black. I'm never going to grow up as a gay black man who's closeted. I'm never going to, so to take a peek into that world and feel some of this guy's pain was just surreal. So I'm glad it won. And, as more non-white people win movies, I'm happy for it because, come on. Like, you look at most of these nominees before a certain year, it's all white. Come on. Let's just keep it real. Yeah. It's probably all dudes for the most part in the lead role. So I feel this was a cultural shift as well for that. And as far as I know, it's got to be one of the first movies about a gay black man that's ever been nominated. It may be the only one that's ever been nominated as far as I know. So my number 3 is Moonlight. So, John, you're up.
My number 3, as far as black and white movies go, is probably my favorite.
Okay.
Kicking it back.
Okay.
I don't think anybody has talked bad about this movie, and there's a reason for it. It's just a good movie.
All right.
And there's certain aspects of the movie that you're kept in the dark about. You don't see certain aspects of the movie, and I appreciate it. I appreciate not knowing about the history of the characters, and just being fed tidbits about their history. And it's highly quotable, one of the most quoted movies ever, and that is Casablanca.
Never seen it.
I think you should see the movie.
Is it that good? I'll watch it.
It's a
what
good
year?
movie.
What year is this from? It's
it is
50s, right?
From
50 something. Is it that old? I know that comes as a shock probably to people like, what, you've never seen Casablanca? I've never seen it.
Before 44.
44. I've never seen Citizen Kane either, so.
I haven't seen Citizen Kane, but.
Did you hear the funny story this week? So Citizen Kane on Rotten Tomatoes had 100% score. It was like pretty much critics call it the best movie ever made. Somebody at Rotten Tomatoes went through these old newspapers and found a bad review from like.
Yeah, I initially got a bad review.
When the movie they found another one and they included it and the score dropped to 99%. And so now the internet's like, well, Paddington 2 has 100% better than Citizen Kane. It's official. So that's been like the internet joke of the week. All right, so Casablanca, tell me about it.
Casablanca is about a guy named Rick. He opens up a bar in Casablanca, but it's during the First World War. Okay. And there are French loyalists to the Allied forces that are laying low, trying to escape, and there are some very bad people that are out to thwart some of the things that they're hiding out in Casablanca so they can get information back to America.
Okay.
And it turns out that one of these French leaders that's hiding out is now married to the old flame of Rick.
Ah, okay.
And so he's trying to get them out, and he kind of wants her to stay. And she definitely wants to stay, and he has to urge her. By the end of the movie, he's like, "You got to get out of here, because what your husband is doing is more important than us."
Right.
And that's that whole, we don't amount to a hill of beans in this world.
Right.
That comes from that's that scene.
Okay.
And their old tryst, which you never really hear about exactly what happened, why they separated, just that they had something. And like as they're leaving, he's like, "Look, we'll always have Paris."
I've heard.
And
that
kind of kicks it
before, yeah.
back, and then their plane takes off, and then the guy that helped him set all this stuff up, his name's Louis, and they're walking off at the end of the movie saying, "Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship."
Yeah, I've heard that before.
And so yeah.
Well, I will.
It's a good movie.
I will try to watch that before next week. I will
And,
come back with my David's review of it. So
in most movies, you get, the two lovers that you want to see together,
right,
end up together,
right.
And Casablanca is one of the first movies that does not happen.
All right. I will come back next week with my review, Casablanca, and I will try to come back. Glenda keeps hounding me about what's the one you want me to see. It's got Richard Dreyfuss. He's the conductor.
Mr. Holland's Opus.
Okay, I will try to watch those movies the next week. Okay, I'll try. I'm definitely going to watch Casablanca though. So, all right, we've come down to my number 4. I'm looking over this list. I've got sentimental favorites. I'm trying to pick the movies that have stuck with me over the years. And man, there's a lot of great ones left that are just not going to get put on the list. But I'm going to go with probably I'm going to go with a crazy movie. I don't know if a lot of people have seen, but I think it features some of the best actors in the business. It's a crazy movie. The ending's wild. It's got Christopher Walken in it. It is his greatest. I mean, I've never seen him this good. I know he was good in Pulp Fiction. I know he's good in True Romance, but you ever seen The Deer Hunter? Have you ever seen The Deer Hunter?
Deer Hunter's up there, man.
Man, it is a wild freaking ride. It's got De Niro, Walken, and it's basically the story of these friends that go to Vietnam, and things do not go well at all. Let's just say that. There's some Russian roulette involved. There's some torture. It's a crazy movie because the first half of the movie features a wedding scene. And the wedding scene is like very long. It's like probably a 20-minute wedding scene. You're like, man, this is like they grow up in a Pittsburgh, I think, or some steel city, blue collar workers. And then when it gets to Vietnam, it's a hell of a ride, dude. It's a crazy movie. It's not one you're going to watch on date night. It's one you're going to watch by yourself, dig in. The acting's, man, the 70s movies were just fantastic. I mean,
yeah.
You had movies like this, Taxi Driver, Serpico. I mean, just all these crazy-ass movies, which I absolutely love. So, yes, Deer Hunter has always stuck with me. I mean, Walken, man, dude. This cemented it right there. But anyways, you'll never look at Russian roulette the same. So that's my last one. Deer Hunter, what year is that? 73 or something, probably. No, it can't be 73. That was Godfather. It's got to be like in the 70s. Right?
79.
79, okay. There we go. That's my last one, Deer Hunter. All right, John, what is your last movie?
I mean, there's a few I want to pick.
That's what I'm saying. It's rough.
I mean, it feels like I'm responsible for one, just birthright.
Uh-oh.
But
no, don't. That's not a good movie. Do not pick that movie, John.
All right.
You know it's not good.
I know there's a snoozer. It's a snoozer.
We'll talk about it after you pick your 4. I mean, you can pick it, but we'll talk about it. Don't pick that movie, man.
I think I'm gonna take your advice.
Okay.
I'm still torn between 2 other ones though, so I
flip a coin, man. Which one is the better movie? That's the question. Now, which one do you like the best, maybe? Which one is the better movie is what I always ask.
If you look through the annals of history, then I would probably have to say Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind? John, what? Is that really on your list, bro? What year is that, bro? What year is that from? The 50s or something? I mean, that is old. Oh, John, you can.
1940.
You can. 40?
1940.
You cannot like Gone with the Wind, brother.
It's not my favorite movie.
It's not a good movie. It's like 3.5 hours of nonsense.
Some would disagree.
I want to know, what was the other movie you were choosing between? Gone with the Wind or what?
You're going to really roll your eyes at this one.
What?
The Sound of Music.
John.
And, I mean, you know what the other one was.
God, man. Yeah, we'll talk about the other. That's okay. Okay. Is there anything you need to say about Gone with the Wind? Is there anything you need to say?
I mean, it's the first time they used what was considered a curse word.
Do you need to say anything about it? We're good?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Gone with the Wind. I'm going to wrap this up then. I had Godfather, Departed, Moonlight, and Deer Hunter. John had Silence of the Lambs, American Beauty, Casablanca, and Gone with the Wind. John's like a roller coaster. Like he started out, he's really strong with the Gone with the Wind. I can't stand Gone with the Wind. Anyway, you were going to put Rocky on your list.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought about putting I was gonna either choose Deer Hunter or Gladiator, but man, Gladiator is that really like a best picture movie? I mean, it's fun to watch, and so I put Braveheart and Gladiator in kind of the same category. Fun movies, I don't know if they're like the best movies. You know what I'm saying? Also had Schindler's List. Probably should be on there. Heavy movie, but great. French Connection, fantastic. No Country for Old Men and Platoon were movies that could have made my list. What are some that could have made your list, John?
I mean, you hit The Departed for me.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about 3 that I didn't choose.
Okay.
But there's a lot of great movies that, and I printed all of them out. I've got a list.
Right.
And I just kind of highlighted like ones that really like popped for me. And there's just a lot of movies that I'm surprised weren't.
They didn't win.
Yeah,
That's why it would
I'm
be
just
fun to do a list of movies that didn't win.
And so like, I think the best war movie ever made, and it's one of the reasons why I don't really have war movies on there, is Full Metal Jacket. And
it's definitely one of the best war movies.
And that's not on there, and
That's another point thing, though. Usually, if you make a war movie, it's a plus. There's a good chance they might want to. I mean, Deer Hunter's one, Platoon's one. Well, maybe there's not a whole lot. I'm trying to think.
Forrest Gump, technically.
Yeah, I
but
guess.
I mean, Forrest Gump. I mean, it's everything but a musical.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, okay. Well, that was our list. Hopefully, you agree, disagree. Let us know what you think of the list. There was so many to pick from. I'm sure the opinions will be varied on this one for sure, but that was some of our favorites that we thought were some of the better picks over the history. Before we wrap up, just real quick, we both watched, what's it called? Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. That's not glowing.
It's not glowing. Compared to what I know that the MCU can do.
Yeah.
It was a solid I'd put it with
okay, what grade would you give it then? You give it like a C?
I'd put it on par with Iron Man 3.
Okay. I would say Dunkirk. Somebody said Dunkirk. I didn't win. A lot of great war movies don't win. But anyways, I would say I thought the series got better as it went on. I thought the ending was great. Here's my problem. I know people can say, oh, they don't like a black Captain America. Here's the problem that we've talked about. Captain America is literally, as Chris Evans, is the greatest superhero that's ever been on screen. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying here? He is literally the best to me. Okay? He's the Michael Jordan of superheroes. Anybody that comes behind him, it could have been Bucky, it could have been Sam, it could have been freaking Thor. It doesn't matter who the next Captain America is. They're not going to live up to Captain America. And that's the problem. I understand we got to move on and all that, but, the one thing I don't get about things like that, especially in comic books, is, he's the Falcon. Why does he have to become Captain America? He's already got his thing. They played it like the world needs a Captain America. I don't know. I think that could be a discussion for it. I don't know. If Superman died, no one was like, yo, I'm the new Superman. And I guess in the comic books they kind of did. So maybe I'm losing the point
they do
there.
that a lot in comic books. Well, but my thing is like, I'd somewhat get it if they didn't have, like John Walker. Okay, John Walker, they tried to groom him as the next Captain America, which that almost makes sense.
Right.
Because he didn't have something previous. But like when you have something previous, why can't you just be you?
Yeah, it's a question to ask. We could have a long discussion about it, I guess. the point is they need him to be in the next series of films. They
Yeah.
feel like Captain America is a role they cannot not have.
And I'm not blaming the film so much. I mean, the comic books have set that up.
Right.
He did pick up that mantle.
Right.
In the comic books. So I mean,
I just don't think the Falcon's that interesting. The character. I don't think the Winter Soldier's that interesting. I guess is the point. I think they set up Tony Stark and Captain America as two characters that were just phenomenal, and it's just going to be hard to replace that, man. They were so great. People, I mean, it was the whole basis of the entire movies. So I'm like, why not just leave it alone? I mean, I agree with you. Just make him, I do agree. Just make him Falcon. Make him be the leader. That's fine. He can be the leader. Put an American flag on his Falcon outfit. He doesn't have to be Captain America.
yeah.
But anyway, I'm sure people have thoughts. But anyway, that's that. I would go check it out, though. It's worth watching. I mean,
I was kind of hoping, and I mean, I wasn't surprised that they didn't do that. But I think it'd be neat if, like the ending scene, the after credit scene for each of these kind of led to the next series that was going to pop up.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've got Loki coming up, and
yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And nothing to really lead into it.
Yeah.
And so,
decency. I'd say to go check it out. But anyway, that's it. That's the show. We are out of time. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. We had a great chat room, lots of great comments. And like I say, engage with us on social media. You can go to our website, which is bybpod.com. That's bybpod.com. If you go there, you can check out all of our past episodes. You can check out social media links. Like I said, go follow us on YouTube. Hit that like button. There's past articles. There's ways to shop with us, buy our merchandise, all that. So we encourage you to do that, bybpod.com, or just follow us on any of the podcast platforms. Tell your friends about it for sure. We love to get more people checking us out. And thanks for everybody that shared selfies with us today. We appreciate that as well. Get us on social media. Find out about that. And I guess that's the end. So with all that being said, John, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.